Yeah. 24 hours of peace, peace, love, unity, safely having fun. Real hip hop for the people. It's an engagement. It's a demonstration. Using hip hop culture to get you activated. Let the people hear the bass, the vibration, the love, peace, unity, and watch them add on. It's a culture. It's not just rapping. It's not what we do. It's how we do it. We're doing it right here, Springfield Avenue, between Bergen and Plum. 24 hours straight, man. It's crazy.
Shit. We the people. The people of the culture.
Yeah, Ron Lawrence.
Fire. The hip hop culture.
Yo, we love rap.
Yes,
Love
we
it.
do.
Yeah, we do. But it's really about the culture.
Yeah, let them know how.
The realness. The culture.
Yeah. What up, man?
You know a hard head makes a soft behind. If I only knew my schoolwork like I knew them rhymes. Mom upside my head, I'm trying to memorize every line. High power rap breaks, super rhymes. Deep into the culture, didn't even know it. Young entrepreneurs spit bars like a poet in a rush to be mature behind bars when we blow it. In the bold ass rappers too immature to outgrow it. It was more than just music, something next to breathing. I get giddy like a baby trying to spit while I'm feeding. The mic I be squeezing, dropping facts like I'm teaching. Leaking flows for the perfect beat seeking. Mama used to say, take your time, young man. But I'm trying to feel a light so you can see it when I tan. I'm like one I never ran, I'm a fan but never stand. Just take it blackwards to the east, Xing out the clan.
Holy integrated, having omnipresence, we are.
But no one stopped to think about the people.
Holy integrated, having omnipresence, we are.
But no one stopped to think about the people.
Pueblo Unido, grassroots Steve Biko. Rule number one, never forget the people. I live that, I get that. Heart all in it, no gimmicks, straight facts. From the start, I'm the light from the dark. Born from black art, knew my part. Daddy gave me, mama made me. North raised me, hip hop saved me. For the culture now, for the black and brown. Harriet Underground, sun up to sundown. Till my people get out, north to down south, spread like word of mouth. While you cowards is hooded, we battle the bullet. Black lives to the fullest. Out here to the end, stronger together, that's the day we win.
Holy integrated, having omnipresence, we are.
But no one stopped to think about the people.
Holy integrated, having omnipresence, we are.
Yeah. But no one stopped to think about the people.
The legends before me are ones I want to get it like, but hitting quick hit different when hitting right. Mob ties, this thing of ours is birthrights. Who's next for the culture and them searchlights? Do it to it, this music, I'm trying to talk through it. Every plan on my own, I watch the lie do it. Airborne to Skiki, like a Wendell Pruitt. Trumpets blow, this song's here, melodic ruins. Think for it before they have to think for 'em. Boom bap, I talk that and live enormous. Informers when present and your boy performing, especially when them drums snap by Brian Lawrence. Doing all that poet talk of the line crosser. Many hawk and I speak by and flying saucers. Make it worth it, I can't take no people offers. Signed, sealed, and delivered, and you know the offer.
Holy integrated, having omnipresence, we are.
But no one stopped to think about the people.
Holy integrated, having omnipresence, we are. Yeah, the people.
You see what it is. Real hip hop is for the people. And like I always say, you know, hip hop isn't what we do. It's how we do it. You know what I mean? And, you know, I say in hip hop culture, you can do it all. And that's what leads me to our next guest on the Hakeem Green Show, my brothers Kai Will and the councilman Do It All, DUPRE, Kelly. What's up, my brothers?
What up?
What up, Hawk?
What's up,
How's it
man?
going, man?
What's good? What's good? Where you at, dude?
Man, I'm in the off the crib, man.
Oh,
Still
wow.
trying to get it together in here. This is actually my wife's side.
Got
My
you.
side looks crazy right now.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks to wifey for letting you live and giving you some space to conduct this most important interview with two of my favorite people
Word out.
in the culture.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
bro.
Mr. KHAIRI, Will Williams,
Yes,
and
man.
Mr. Councilman DOITALL DUPRE Kelly.
Yes,
And,
sir, bro. Yes, sir.
I always say, like I say, hip hop is not what we do, it's how we do it. And I embody that to the T. The multi-talented, MCs, of course. Both of you guys are MCs.
Mm-hmm.
And, community guys, family guys. And, watching hip hop grow up. It makes me proud to be associated with brothers like yourself. Let me just say that.
I appreciate that for real, bro.
Same, man. Likewise.
Word out.
So, Kai, you're a co-host on Madism Sports.
Yeah.
And
sir.
we met some time ago. I don't know you was just as long as I've known Do It All, but I just want you to tell the people, who you are, where you from, and what your inspirations are, my brother.
Well, Will, as you said, man, I'm from Jersey. I mean, I was born Beth Israel Hospital in Newark, New Jersey, but I was raised and reared, I guess you could say, in Central Jersey. I always tell people my cocktail party line is in Piscataway Tech. Coach Carl Town Sr. was my basketball coach.
Oh, wow.
In high school.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, and what inspires me? That's such a hard question for me, man, because I draw inspiration from so many different things and people. But I guess overall, what inspires me is to be able. It's such a hard question, and I don't want to give a corny answer, so I'm just life and creation, man. And what I mean by that, just briefly, is like whether it be things that I create, like like you said, music and things like that, the life that I make for my family, my children, just creation, man. All types of creation, it just inspires me. And when I see other people's creation, it inspires me. But that's a hard thing because so much that inspires me.
Yeah, I feel you. Once we get done with Do It All's perspective, I'm going to tie it all into why I asked that question in particular. Mr. DUPRE Kelly, aka Do It All from the mighty Lords of the Underground, now West Ward Councilman for the great city of Newark, New Jersey. Let the people know where you're from and what inspires you, my brother.
What's up, everybody? My name is DUPRE Kelly, Councilman DUPRE Kelly. Do it all to some of y'all. What inspires DUPRE Kelly? That's a real intricate question as you start to have more experiences and more failures and more successes in your life, right? There's so many different things that's inspiring me, and I'm not going to drag it on, but man, I was just in the studio last night. That's still my relief button, right? I still hit the studio it's like people hitting the gym, just to kind of get the stresses off of me. And that was the conversation last night. What inspired me at 20 years old, it's not the same thing that inspires me at this big age that I am now, but it does have the things around it that are similar, right? Positivity inspires me now. I only want to be around people who talking about winning. And when they talking about losing, they only talking about the loss that inspired them and fueled them to do better. You know what I mean? Everybody I don't want to be around anybody that doesn't take care of their children. I don't want to be around anybody that is talking negative only to use it to pull things down instead of using it to pull things up. Like, that's just my mentality. I want to be around somebody that's inspiring, right? Because when you think about Hawk, you're a wordsmith. You deal with the root core of words a lot. So when you talk about inspiring, that means that you have to be in spirit with something. You know what I mean? So, and when you're influenced by something which is super, super powerful, you know, I've just known when you're under the influence of anything, you're not really yourself. Like, you're somewhere else. You're as if or like or of, you know, which is powerful, but you're under that influence. But when you're in spirit, you're inspired by that thing. You want to add on. You want to become greater than it.
Yep.
It's almost like a father or a parent inspiring their children to be better than them. Right? They want them to add on and be greater than them. And so it's so many different things, man, that inspire me. So many people inspire me. I get inspiration. I feel like I'm a sponge all over again, like in child age, because if you look at my notes in my iPhone, it's just one-liners or phrases or bars, as we might say as MCs, that I just write down that was inspiration to me from things I've heard, things I've seen, you know, things I felt. So there's so many different things that inspire me, man, you know, at that stage.
Yes. Well, you know, the reason why I asked that question is because the two of you as co-authors have this wonderful literary offering. You can do it all.
Yeah, man.
And in that, you know, what inspires you or lights the fire up under your behind to actually go do it all. So that said, you know, what brought this piece together? How did this come together? What was the brainchild behind this? What was the inspiration behind this book?
If you don't mind, Kyle, let me start this one off, man. Like, one thing I gotta say, man, is I gotta give a lot of credit to KHAIRI Williams, man. Kai. Right. And the reason why I say that is because sometimes when you have done so much, you can get lax, or you can get set, you know, in your way, or you can sort of get complacent with certain things, or you can get so busy that you forget what is the thing that got you to the point that got you busy.
Yeah.
You know, and Kai has always been that elbow in my side, that igniter again, right? Like, and that's why I'm giving him so many props, because I've been talking about being an author and writing a book. I have a 3-part series started with The Funky Child, which is my first book of a 3-part series. Wow. You know, I'm like 70 pages into that, but I've been 70 pages into that for 3 years. You know, and then Kai, you know, one thing I could say about Kai, man, Kai is one of those people that I can have conversations with on the record, off the record, don't have to be about the record. You know what I mean? Like, and in our conversations, you know, he'll wind up saying, dude, I know you got 5 minutes, and it turned into an hour. Right? but in a good hour.
A good hour.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
we have those conversations, me and Kai doing the
we
day.
do, yeah, we do.
No doubt.
I know what it is. I can relate. No doubt.
And one of those conversations, man, turned into, yo, why don't we just do this book, man? You know, let's do it for the babies. Let's do it for the people. Let's do it for us. And I'm like, Kyle, I can't promise it. You know how I don't really like making promises with a busy schedule and all that. I can't promise it, but and then he said, cuz let me do the labor. Let me do the initial labor. It's just when I call you and I need the stories and I need to have those conversations, let me know what it is. And I didn't realize that we were writing the book through those conversations. So you know, he would ask me about certain things and certain those small successes that turned into the thing that catapult those big successes, right? That become that fire to make you do those bigger things. Like what was the first? I know you love baseball. Did you make the baseball team when you first got on? I know you were on everything in school. That's where you got your name from. Do it all. Did you make the student body when you ran for the election the first time? Did you? You know, he would ask me those stories, and I would tell him, and lo and behold, we end up writing a book that showed people, not even just children, man, through a children's platform, but talking about anybody can do it all. And I know it sounds cliche, right? But we were talking about this in the studio last night. You really can. If you believe it, I know it all sounds cliche, you can achieve it and all that stuff. But if you really believe it and you put one foot in front of the other and you move toward the direction that you say what you want, because you are already the thing that you're trying to get. You're just trying to release it into the universe. You are already that, right? So if you say that you're an author, then you are already that. All you have to do is walk and move toward those things. And then it's like a headlight seeing 200 feet in front of you, right? When you're standing still, it sees 200 feet in front of you. As you move, you see another 200 feet. As you move, you see another 200 feet. So you start to notice the things that you couldn't, you start to notice the things that you couldn't see when you were off in the distance. You start to get interested in those on ramps and off ramps that you didn't even know you would be interested in those places before you start traveling towards your destination. And that's what happens, man. We just moving, man, and the movement's not a movement if it's not moving. And I gotta thank Kai for saying, get in the car. I'm driving this path this time.
So to that point, Kai, what was it that made you think, that's the car we need to be in right now? Write a book.
Well, but like Du said, man, I've been like nagging Du, because I'm one of those people that I love memoirs. I love people's stories, and it interests me. I'll listen to anybody's story. I'll read anybody's story. So it's kind of started as that, but then something interesting happened to me. Not interesting. I mean, it happens to a lot of people, but I was in this like limbo in my life because I was like laid off from a job, and I was kind of like in this weird space where I was kind of like, I mean, to go back to our other point, I was kind of like uninspired, if that makes any sense. Only because I was like, and I understand it now in hindsight, I was grieving, right? Not the same level of grief that you would grieve somebody you love, like a human, but it was that weird situation where you're like, yo, what am I doing? What do I have going on? So anyway, I was listening to a lot of things, and I was reading a lot of different things. And I was kind of like searching for that inspiration, right? So anyway, I said, "Damn, yo, as much as I'm reading these books to my children, these story books, that the stories and the inspiration that I need is kind of in here too, right? If that makes any sense."
That's crazy.
But it wasn't. But it wasn't quite like our stories, right? It was like, kids stuff, as it should be. So then I was talking to my wife, and I was like, damn, it's kind of crazy. I was thinking about different things that we could do. As a matter of fact, I remember vividly because we were driving to Michael Bivins' documentary release, a premiere, and doing our ride in the car. And I was kind of like thinking about it then, but I wasn't sure. I didn't know if it was corny. I didn't know I just didn't know. I wasn't sure. But I thought about it some more, and I was really inspired by watching Michael Bivins and his story, all the different things that he was doing throughout his life and all that. So it was like a Saturday. And I called Du, and I was like, yo, you want to do a children's book? And Du being Du, man, this is the God's honest truth without any context. He was like, let's do it. I'm like, all right, let's do it. But like he said, he was like, but just know, like, I can't commit to this. Like, you're gonna have to like, walk this because for obvious reasons.
Yes,
and I just and I just threw myself into the work, to learning all, and it's not easy, man. Writing, anybody that tells you writing a children's book is easy is either using AI to do everything, or they're lying to you. because it's not easy. But just not to go off into a tangent, but just to answer your question, I wanted to tell a story that was easy enough for kids to understand, but I also had the parents that are going to be reading the story to their children in mind. That was going to be inspirational, and that was going to help people and let people know that there's peaks and valleys in life, because selfishly, that's what I was going through at the time of my life too. So, and I wanted to use Du's story because I've heard these stories forever, man. All of the stories, these are all real stories. You can apply the election story. Everybody knows Du's story about running for councilman at large. Not everybody doesn't know that. Du was they know now, but he was up for the role of Theo in the Cosby Show.
Yeah, Cosby Show.
Yeah. And I think we all have those things. We all have those peaks and valleys in our life. But Du, for one, being a public figure, but also being somebody that I really know that's really resilient. And and that, again, to use that word, it inspires me, because I'm like, damn, I kind of know a little. I know enough about the things that he goes through, things that he's challenged with, especially now with the politics shit. It's like times 1,000, So if he can keep a smile on his face and still remain optimistic and still be greeting the people and keep a smile on his face, and we need to encapsulate that thing in a book.
Absolutely. So let's talk about the book.
Yes, sir.
It's a children's book. You can do it all. First of all, where can people get it? Let's not forget that off rip. Where can people get it? Let them know right now, please.
Yeah. We have it on. It's on our site, Do It All University, our Shopify page, where people can purchase it. You can also purchase it on Amazon. We can put the links down below. I'll put them down here for everybody to check out. But it's very soon. It's gonna be in Barnes and Nobles and every major retailer wherever you buy books.
Good. It's a children's book, but there's an overarching message in it of resilience and overcoming and believing in yourself. So, talk about that, Du, in terms of the theme of the book.
Well, the theme of the book is resilience, right? Like you said, it's about learning from your failures, being fueled by your failures, and continuing to brush yourself off, get up, and continue to do what you set out to do. And if you keep doing, you will accomplish it, because you can do it all. It's not just a play on my name. Well, it is a play on my name too, but it's a real statement. And it's something that I am the proof of. Like, I am the living proof of failing, getting up, and doing what I set out to do. Just because you fail, I try to fail quicker now. I try to fail quicker so I can get it out the way. So I love failing quick, because that means my bounce back is going to be even quicker too. My wherewithal of getting to the nuts and bolts of the situation will be quicker as well. So, it's about that. It's about it's about inspiring the parent enough to read to their children who probably can't read yet, or just learning how to read, to show them that you must have resilience. You must never give up. Anything you put your mind to, you really, really can do. And words are very powerful. You're an MC, Hawk. So when you speak those words into existence, not only are you inspiring someone, but you're making them resonate and reminding yourself, even though it seems a little elementary for maybe a parent, because it's on a children's stage, but those elementary things will remind you that it is that simple. It is that simplistic, that if you just believe that you can, then you will. It's almost like when you look good, you feel good, you do good. And that's what this book it is, down to the simplest form, right? Down to the minute form of childlike. Right. And when you become childlike once again, your antennas pop up. You start to become a sponge. You start to notice so many things. It's not until we get to know trigonometry and geometry that we're trying to figure out all these big puzzles and word mathematics and all of those type of things. But sometimes if you just be still, if you just break it down to its elements of its elementary form, the basics, man, sometimes it's right there and you go, you know, and that's what, like, even the entertainment business has done for me. Like, before, you know, being in the game, I felt like before I got into professionally into the music and entertainment business, I felt like everything was happening for me. Anything I wanted to do, it just would happen. And I'm, you know, just in my mindset, I'm like, it's supposed to happen, right? Because and when you believe that just wholeheartedly, you move toward it like there is no doubt. They say it just takes a mustard seed, right? But it also takes a mustard seed, right? But that faith of a mustard seed, it's a we don't talk about that mustard seed of doubt, right? If you have that mustard seed of doubt, you can weigh everything down. So that is the task, to remove that mustard seed and only operate with the faith mustard seeds. You know, sometimes there's bad seeds, and that doubt seed is definitely a bad one that can spoil your harvest. So we're just trying to operate with that mustard seed of faith, man, and just starting to believe that everything is possible. I just had a great conversation with our brother HAKIM, underground MC, you know, he's from the West Ward of Newark, New Jersey. You know, he was talking about how he was in the West one time, just standing there, and they were talking about MCs. And, you know, he wears the Haitian flag around his face. He didn't have on a flag this day, and they were talking about underground MCs, and some were saying, oh, maybe something, if I remember the conversation right, maybe it's something a little negative about him or wasn't sure about him, but he's standing right there. Standing right there and having all of this success because he's not allowing that doubt in his world. Right? So he's selling vinyl for $5,000 and albums for $2,000. And I went to a show in Chicago. To get in was $200. To get to meet and greet was another $400. And there was 500 people there. So that, and he doesn't put anything on DSPs, which is, you know, our digital service providers. And it's just direct marketing. So that just made me go,
got Linky, I need some jewels.
Right. So that just made me go, when you believe in yourself and you believe and see your vision as clear as you see it, who is going to tell you that it's not like how you see it? Right. And the people who do say that, they're not part of your journey anyway. So why are you trying to cater to them? Cater to the ones that believe. Cater to the ones that show up, and they will grow.
You know, I'm going to say it again and again and again and again. Hip hop is not what we do. It is how we do it. Kai, do me a favor. Put that down just in the regular chat for me, please. Those links.
Yep.
Can you put them? Yep. Hip hop is not what we do. It is how we do it.
How we do it.
I think it's amazing. So wonderful to see hip hop and political leadership.
Yes, man. Yes.
Like, folks don't really understand how powerful that is for hip hop, and because it's bigger than hip hop, how powerful it is for Black people specifically. At Newark, New Jersey, with the mayor, the Honorable Mayor Ras Baraka.
Shout out to the mayor, man.
Shout out to the mayor. And my brother DOITALL Kelly as the West Ward councilman.
That's right.
Now, you know, of course, the chief of staff for Miri Baraka, and
shout out to Mid.
A bunch of comrades we have throughout Newark City government that's definitely from the hip hop generation. But to see a rapper, multi-platinum, from one of the greatest rap groups ever, to say, you know, let me pivot, not even stop rapping. You still put it down. You said last night. But, you know, like, I think MCs and the elder statesmen of hip hop culture really need to pay attention to DUPRE Kelly. Can you talk about that shift, why the shift was necessary, and how you utilize hip hop in your walk as councilman in Newark, New Jersey?
I think it was necessary, man, because like we always talk about hot, you know, and especially with Mr. KRS-One, man, you know.
Teacher.
Yeah, man. Knowledge reigns supreme over everybody. Mr. Knowledge reigns supreme. You know, hip hop has always talked about the social ills and the things that we were going through in our movement, in our culture. And if you talk about it like that, then you break it down, hip being in the now, being in the knowing, it's now, right? It's the current situations that we're going in and beyond what the mainstream is talking about, right? And if you talk about hop, that's a form of movement. If you just put both of those together, like we always talk about, that's the now movement.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever the now movement, what is going on, that's how I was taught the hip hop. You know, talk about narrate the culture of how we see it, how we live it, who we're next to that's living it, how we dress, what messages are we giving out through our art, what social ills, what are the chants we yelling about, what we need. That's where I come from it with. So when you talk about the now movement, it was only right that if hip hop has become the pop culture, in my years of living, the pop culture has always been the most, has pushed society forward, right? It sells anything from dish detergent to fried chicken to clothing. It gets elected officials elected. So if we are involved in everything, why can't we be a part of everything?
Yeah.
Right? If you're going to utilize us, then we need equity in the utilization of our culture.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And you know, this was the mindset before I even had that mindset from multiple people like Chris and Chuck and, you know, X Clan and so many people before that were talking about hip hop early on. But there was one person in 1992 in Orlando, Florida, man, in a motel. We were on tour with Tupac Shakur. And he's the one who just kind of put it directly to me. You know, he was in my hotel one day, man, and he just said, you know, we have to sell millions of records so that we can be able to turn those millions of record buyers into millions of voters. And he started to going off yelling people's names. And he was like, you know, we need to do, Common needs to do it in Chicago. Tretch needs to do it in East Orange. You and Redman need to do it in Newark. And Ice Cube needs to do it in LA, in Central California, and EPMD, one of them need to do it in Central Islip and Long. He was just naming off of whoever was hot at that time. He was just naming their names. And he said, I'll either do it in Baltimore or Oakland. And I looked at him. I said, and he talked about opening up nonprofits. He talking about bridging the gap between our youth and our seniors, creating youth initiatives that we gather all of our wisdom from our seniors. He talking about creating infrastructures, and he said then we might have to do something that we don't want to do. And I'm like, well, what's that? You know, he said we might have to become legislators. Legislators. I mean, my exact words to him was like, Pac, I'm a rapper, man. What you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, what you talking about, man?
Yeah.
Because I couldn't fathom this 21-year-old talking to me like he was 40 at the time. You know, and that comes from the information that he probably sat around every day with his moms and all of the
party.
Yes, with the party, man. And this is how he
was
talking. He said, you know, if we don't, when I said, man, I'm a rapper, he was like, nah, dude, that's what they want us to be. They want us to be just rappers. He said, he said that if we don't be involved in making the laws will be made for us. I was like, oh, all right. Yeah, but everything that he asked of me in that hotel room, starting the nonprofit organizations, going into the schools, getting more involved in politics within my community. He also asked me to not move from my community. And shout out to Mr. Funky and DJ Lord Jazz, but I'm the only one in my group that didn't move from where we were raised at. And I think that plays a part on him and Amiri Baraka Sr., who told me the same thing, to pit my bucket where I lay. I didn't really understand then, because all we look for is to make it out, right? We, you know, coming up, we want to make it out. But as I started to so-called make it out, I realized it's not about making it out. It's actually about making it in when you make it out. Bring those resources back, tend the soil there and replant and plant in that soil there. So it's not about making it out. It's about making where you come from better. And that's why I stayed to be a part of this movement with Team Baraka and to add my own flavor and spices to it, man. And I was fortunate enough to be elected right in the ward that I did mischief in, that I grew up in, right in the West Ward of North New Jersey. I'm like, man, you tell God your plan, and he got a whole nother plan, man. So
that's right.
Ironic.
Right. So I was having a conversation on social media today. It was about Black people and who Black people are, and the conversation went off into reparations, right? And I said that they're never going to give us reparations.
No, we
got to go take reparations.
Yes, I'm agreeing with you, Hop.
Right. So somebody misunderstood what I was saying and took it to the streets. I'm like, nah.
Gotta go in there and take it.
We need
the AK.
We need congressmen, senators. We need brain power. We need the pen is mightier than the sword.
Yes.
And like we got to play on a certain playing field. Kai Will, I want you to chime in. All hell the chief. I want you to chime in on that point in terms of especially us as Black men and our responsibility to our community and how we can truly make a change.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think it's all of us. We all have a responsibility to play our part in that change and becoming that change. And I think one of the troubling things that we do sometimes that I hope that, and I believe that we will get out of, is like, do as the West Ward councilman. I don't need to be the West Ward councilman then. I need to find the thing that I'm most useful in doing in the community that's going to help us.
That's why this my brother. I'm telling you, God, man.
I think we fight each other a lot, and we get at loggerheads. I don't know if that's the right term, but we get really rambunctious with each other because we all kind of know what the destination is, where we need to be, or what we think we need to be as a people. But the journey, like we don't embrace the journey and how hard that journey is going to be, but how beautiful that journey can be if everybody plays their position, right? Just like when you're on tour, you guys will understand this reference because you know about tour life. Like you have a road manager, you have a bus driver, you have the artists themselves, you have the dancers, if you have dancers, you have everybody that plays a certain position in a certain role, rather, to make the show successful, but not just the one show successful, to make the 50 shows or the 60 shows or whatever the leg is successful with on that tour. So, and what I do, I think the best thing that I do is probably, most people would probably scoff and say it's the most simplistic, but it's not. The best thing that I can do is raise 3 fully functional, good, honest members of society, which is my kids. Like you have to be able to prepare them not only for the world that they're gonna inherit, that they're gonna live in, but arm them with the tools and the knowledge and the know-how to change it for all these things that we want to do. Like I've sat at the feet of my grandfather so many times as a kid, not understanding what he was talking about when he was talking about a lot of this stuff. Like even with some of the politicians, like the things that he would say, and he would say, "Oh, he ain't," whatever he would say about them, and not understanding that his cynicism didn't come from a place of like that he didn't care, he was disengaged. His cynicism came from a real place because he was engaged and because he was like, because he had seen so many things and he wanted so much better for our community. So I remember sitting at his feet, listening to these conversations, and now understanding it as a grown person. Understand, no, I need to go out there and I need to make my voice known as a voter. I need to go out and make my voice known as talking with brothers like Hakeem Green and Do It All in front of other brothers about inspiration and things that we know, things that are going on. Like even selfishly sometimes, and this is not selfishly, but like even like me and Du were laughing earlier, like we talk about stuff like commodities and stuff like that, like how I'll tell you a quick story and just to get off it. So, and I don't mean to put his name out there, but it's nothing bad. Lord Finesse was talking to Du about something, and I overheard them talking, and it was about the price of gold or something like that. And we were talking about like, yo, this chain was this and this and this and this and that. So then I started saying how like, yeah, well, you know, the price of gold has gone up. It's like $4,000 an ounce now because of the price of gold, right? So we start talking about that, and then from that, this is what Du was talking about earlier. From that, like really just like almost frivolous kind of like conversation, just talking about shopping, went into this whole thing about commodities, and we were talking about precious metals, and we were talking about the importance of what's going on in West Africa, Burkina Faso, and things like that. And then that translated into us talking about the market and stocks and stuff like that. And then dude was like, yo, I just saw this thing, man. It's this stock that's hot right now, whatever. That's gonna yield. So I was like, yo, show it to me. So we talking about it. So as soon as he showed it to me, I bought a couple, whatever. So me and him were just laughing earlier, like, yo, that stock went up from what it was
to a bank.
it's on a little streak right now. It's going up.
It's like been on a streak though too.
Yeah, it's been on a
streak. Excited because I looked at my portfolio today, like, jeez. and you know what? And not to get off subject, man, I want to thank. Oh my God, I can't remember her name. It's a young lady on Instagram.
Big her up. Yeah.
She puts me. Look, I've had many people tell me about stocks, and I'm not claiming to be the biggest educated in the stocks, but I know that I can put my money somewhere and I can yield more than I would in the bank, right? So this young lady,
they've been doing.
She put me onto this stock, and she just has like little conversations with me for free, right? And she just said, you know, people buy gold chains, people buy silver, people buy silver bars, people buy this, which is a good move. It's cool. But then she said, what about the mining companies?
Oh, there it is. Boom.
You know, what about those mining companies?
Boom.
And I was like, well, yeah, you're right. Right? We love Nike, but what about the manufacturing company that makes the leather for Nike? Right. Why not invest in that company? So those are what you call verticals too, right? It's like you don't want to just own the desk company. You want to buy the lumber yard that makes that supplies that desk company, right? That's what you call verticals, you know. And I'm getting more into that. I know Nip was really starting to get into that world too of verticals. That's what Apple is made on verticals, right?
Well, you know who to me, one of the most brilliant people I've met in hip hop culture, who knows a little bit more than me, a lot more than me, excuse me. So I know very little when it comes to stocks and investing. Is your man Vinny from Naughty by Nature.
I didn't know that. And Vin's my brother. And I didn't know that.
Yeah, Vin be ahead of the curve in a lot of ways. And you know, again, I'll be proud of my Jersey family.
Yeah, man. And I'm a holla at Vin. But you know, I just took that little inkling that she gave me and said, we always trying to invest in the thing that's hot, but what is behind the thing that is hot? Right? Let's invest in that. So I just through conversation of me and Lord Finesse, you know, Lord Finesse is one of my son's godfather. My son got 4 godfathers. I call them the Mount Rushmore godfathers.
That's right.
Mike Bibb, Lord Finesse, Mr. Redman, and Trigger Tretch. So, and happy birthday to Trigger Tretch. I believe it's
happy birthday, Trigger Tretch.
Happy birthday.
His birthday. So.
Tiny T Treachery. What you know about that?
So we invested, myself and Kyle, we invested in something that's in probably like 30 days has risen like 17%, something like that, right?
Oh, like, in 30 days,
yeah, like 17%. Like, come on, man, you're getting 17% back on your money. That's I mean, in 30 days, that's a good come up, and that's finding the mining company that makes the conversation we were
sharing some really important information with the world right now.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, but see, and how, not to cut your wisdom, dude, but see, and that's the thing, man. Like, those are the conversations that we have, Du and I, and you know, three of us now. But it's just important for us, as far as the community. You know, every all the information that we share, it doesn't have it, like, you meet people where you are. Like, some people it may be your basic needs and where you can get your basic needs met. For some people it can be whatever it is. And then sometimes for a higher level of conversation, it's things like investment, because sharing that information with each other, and all of us getting a piece of that is how we really going to elevate and grow. Because I mean, listen, it's America, man. You need some finances. You need some finances to grow in this country.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And you know what, too, though? I just want to add, man, just what you just said, Kai. Through conversation, man, you can bring a lot of wisdom forward, man.
Yeah.
Just through conversation, you can create, just through the knowledge of others, you can adapt to it, you can adopt it, you can do all of those things that it can be, you can be inspired by it, you can be influenced by it. You know, those conversations are real. That's why they say conversations and communications. Communications is the key. You know, everybody says that, but comprehension
is the key.
Yes, comprehension is the
you know,
understanding one another. And I think through those conversations, even if you don't have understanding, you receive the understanding, right? Because Hawk is going to know something that I don't know. Kai is going to know something that Hawk doesn't know. And I'm there to get it all. You know what I mean?
Also, your experiences bring you to things. So somebody may share something with you that you don't understand today. You know, and as life goes on, weeks, months, years later, maybe you enter an experience, a situation where now that information makes sense to you.
Yeah, it happens to me all the time.
It clicks, you know. It's happened to me, you know, too many times. I'd probably be ahead a lot more if I was a little bit quicker. But you know, in time, all things reveal themselves. And the book, You Can Do It All, I guess, is speaking about that great revealing that we go through, you know, starting as young people in our youth. Kai, you said something very important about fatherhood and parenting. Big shout out to you both being fathers. Congratulations on your nuptials, Mr. Kelly.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. And you know, you have a year-old in the building.
Yes, sir.
You know? But parenting, something extremely basic. You know, we talk about all the ills in our community and how, you know, the world is this and government ain't doing that. And I'm like, man, if we could just get the parenting part down pat, in a generation, we'd be fine. Like, the next generation just be off and running. Talk about parenting. You know, you father 3 and you now a new father of 1.
Well, you know, I'm actually a 4 now.
Oh, 4.
The new father of my first biological, though, my first son.
Right.
But, you know, I got 2 daughters, man, and a 9-year-old son. And it's amazing, right? There's no blueprint to it. And I know Kai, every father that I talk to has a different, you know, scenario. Similar, but different scenario. And it's important I didn't realize, because I didn't grow up in a house with a father. My stepfather was there for a little bit of the time, but I don't know, just from me having my son by myself at times when my wife is off doing work or even her having him. But for me, I just believe that I don't know how women do it. Women are superheroes.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, like, how do you do it? How do you do this? How do they do this by themselves for years and years and years with multiple children, with the absence of the other parent? That's amazing to me, because I'm in the space now where I couldn't see myself. Of course, we're resilient. You know what I mean? If we have to, we're going to make it happen. But just in that space, I'm like, man, I'm glad I got a dope partner, because I don't understand how women do it. I get it, but they shouldn't have to, man. And they should. That child needs 2 parents. They need the structure of that man, that femininity, that masculinity. They need both of those structures in a home. I already see how my 1-year-old reacts to his mother, than how he reacts to me. He understands the roles already, at 1 year old. So it's important. It's important for her to be the woman that she is and keep learning how to show my son what a real woman is and what a woman is, period, and what a wife is and what a loving mother is. And it's my responsibility to turn my son into a man, right? Because she can't teach him how to be a man, but she can show him what a woman is. Just like I can't teach my daughters how to become a woman, but I can show her what this man is. And I think that when you put both of those together, you create this dynamic that the children grow up on the blueprint, as we say, which is really no blueprint, because everybody parents different. You parent differently, and just because of the proximity of things that you're into, or close to. You parent different just because of the schools you're around, the neighborhoods you're around. You have to navigate differently, right? In some areas, I know I will have to tell my son, you can't play ball over there because that's G block over there. G block don't rock with down the hill people, which is crazy, right? But in certain other areas, they don't have those issues, right? So it's the parenting is different. And I just think, though, it's amazing, though, because the core of the parenting is the same. Teaching them morals, teaching them integrity, teaching them responsibility, and those things look different in other areas and coming from different people, but the core values are still the same. And I think as human beings, if we multiply and teach and press the issues of those core values, we will be creating dynamic human beings, man.
Yeah.
Kai, you're the father of 3.
100%, man. I first of all, I echo everything that Duke said about the nuclear family and the structure of the nuclear family and the roles. And I mean, obviously, those roles, not the roles, but those environments are different. Whether if you in Appalachia or you in the West Coast or you in the rural area, you in the city, but some things remain the same, which is the morals, which is the structure, which is the discipline, which is all of those things.
I would hope so.
It's a trip, man. One of the things that I can say that I think is pretty much universal, no matter what kind of parent you are, especially if you're an involved parent, is your kids are watching and listening to every single thing. And forget the stuff that you say for a second. They're watching everything that you do.
Yeah.
Every single thing that you do. The way that you do it, the way that you interact with other people. Makai, my middle son, asked me the other day, like, I don't know if you're going to be able to go on the show on Tuesday with HAKIM Green because the Giants suck.
Hold on for a second. Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. You throw this up there. I snuck in early.
See that.
So mad is with sports, but
but but because he's so involved. They all are. But he's so involved and invested in what me and my wife do, both socially, professionally. The way that we interact with each other and the way that they're like, if we raise our voice, not raising our voice like we fighting, but just like if we're just excited because we'll be talking about something and we'll be in the kitchen or whatever, and the way that they kind of like look to see, all right, is this an argument or is this just whatever? And then if it's whatever, they can just say, all right, cool. So we go back to doing what we're doing or whatever. All of those things, they're watching and they're absorbing. So I think it's really, we're going to make mistakes as parents. I'll be the first one to raise my hand and say, I know I'm not perfect. I know that, I'm going to continue to make mistakes in terms of parenting because nobody knows how to do this. These are all different people. Even my 3 kids, I know I have to parent my middle son different than my older son because they're different. They're different people. They have different emotions, all of those things, right? And then my daughter is just totally, that's just totally different. Like, I don't even know what to do with her, right? Because she's 2 and she already got me. But we have to inspire them.
Yeah.
We have to inspire them, because the last thing that we want to do, and this kind of goes to the point that Du was making about different environments and what's going on in their environment. I think, and I'm not in the habit of calling any parent a failure at all. I don't do that. I don't subscribe to that. But one thing that's really high up there in failure territory that you could do is have your son or daughter walk out the house or just be around and be inspired and pull to other things outside of like, of course they're gonna have things that they like, basketball teams, artists, the opposite sex, you know what I'm saying, as they get older. It's gonna be things that's gonna pull them and pull their attention a little bit. But if they stray so far away that they just disregard what you have instilled or what you stand for, what you are about, then that's what you don't want, man. You don't want that, man. You want them to know that regardless of what they see out there, whether it be gang culture, whether it be drugs and alcohol, whether it be whatever it is, man, that they know that I'm only gonna go but so far doing this because dad ain't gonna feel this, mom ain't gonna feel this. So let me only go but so far.
All right, too.
Yeah. Do you say you have one biological child?
Mm-hmm.
What were the circumstances of the other children? You say parenting,
So
fatherhood.
my oldest, my best friend Pee Wee, he died when she was about 5 months, and so all she knew was me as her dad. I raised her. I wasn't in the house with her, but I was with her all the time. But I was on the road, real popular with Lords of the Underground at the time. And, she's 30 something now, man. And
Wow.
yeah, so she's a grown woman. And, your children can be your receipts too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just to hear her come to me and say thank you and because of you and those type of things, man, makes me go, wow. I honored my brother in one hand, because I made sure she knew who her biological father was, but I was the only father she had. And she recognizes that. I remember years and years ago, I remember on Facebook, my biological father died. I never had a relationship with him. Matter of fact, he tried to buy weed from me when I was 16. He didn't recognize I was his son. He didn't recognize me. I was in a shootout, me and my brother with him when I was 8. So my brother had to be about 11 or something like that. Like those type of things. So I know I didn't want to be that guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I made sure she understood who her dad was, but I wasn't living in the house with her. I didn't wake up every day with her. I would come get her for 3-4 days, or when I was home off tour, I would pay for finance things. I would be at special moments. And that's how I did fatherhood with her, and it was amazing. And now when I got married, my wife already had 2 children. So I have bonus children, right?
Mm-hmm.
17 and 9. And I come from a stepfather situation. My father, my dad, like my dad was my everything. I didn't call him my stepdad because he was my dad. He stepped in. Even when him and my mother got divorced, he still was my dad, because he taught me what business was. He taught me the love of sports and baseball and football. And he taught me that one of his best friends was owned a barbershop. And I'm in there with them all, and I'm getting all of that barbershop love. And
Yeah.
he taught me what it was to be Fly too, because all of his crew was fly. It was like 5 of them. They had the Cadillacs with the white walls. They owned restaurants. They owned barbershops. All of that type of stuff. So I'm watching this, like Kai said. It's not just about what you say. They watch your actions.
Yes.
So I grew up wanting to be a businessman. I grew up wanting to get after it, whatever it is that I was doing. Inspiration, right? And that's what this book is about, man. And just before I go on a tangent, my bonus children, I was a bonus child of somebody. So I don't look at them. They're my children, and it's difficult. It's difficult coming into a blended family and trying to inspire them the way that you believe they should be inspired, right? Because they don't know all for themselves yet. And then it's breaking away from things they probably got over with not having a man in their life, right? With not having that masculinity energy around them at one point. So now they have to deal with that. And it can be difficult, but I think we're in such a great space, man, now, and we're getting it. We're understanding, and they're getting used to that. I'm challenging them, right? Because they're children. And that's what I should be doing as a father. That's what I believe. I challenge them to be better. I challenge them to be greater. I challenge them because the world is going to give them challenges with no remorse. At least you can get some remorse from me, or you can get some calm down from me. The world don't care. The world don't care that you were lazy, or the world don't care that you didn't do this 100%. The world doesn't care. And they're going to react to that with not with no love. When you care for something, you treat it differently. So when you don't care for something, you treat it like whatever. And I explain those things to them. So, and I try to make them understand that my youngest son is just like them. You know what I mean? I know Kai said that they're all different, and he's right. The way that I parent my 17-year-old female is different than I parent my 9-year-old son. And it's going to be even more different how I parent my toddler. So I think that's right. Like, every situation is different. My toddler's son is growing up in a beautiful home. He's growing up in a beautiful neighborhood. He's growing up not wanting for so many things. My 17-year-old daughter, they're all getting used to all of this stuff now. You know what I'm saying? So it's just different, man. And it's a task. I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect at all, just like Kai said as well. I make mistakes. But I am 10 toes, right? And I stand on business, and I stand on that I'm not trying to be their friends. I'm trying to be their dad.
Structure, discipline. That's
Right.
important.
That's right.
Yeah, everybody has I know where you were going with not wanting to say role, because role sounds so
Right.
But everybody has a part to play. And unfortunately, too many times parents aren't playing the right part in their young people's lives, and things get
trying to be friends.
It's true, yeah. So I want you guys. I'm trying to do something, and I don't want to miss out on something, but I want you quickly to once again shout out the book, let people know where they can get it. I'm going to put it up right now.
Yes, sir.
You Can Do It All by co-authors KHAIRI Williams and DUPRE Kelly. Guys, shout it out real quick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody, I want you to check out, man. You Can Do It All. It's a book about resilience. It's a book about inspiration. It's a book about believing that you can do any and everything. It's authored by KHAIRI Williams and myself. DUPRE Kelly, Do It All to some of y'all. it's an amazing book for children on a children's stage, on a children's platform, but it's also a reminder for adults, because when you repeat things, you reignite it in your psyche, you plant it in your psyche, and when you talk things into existence by you reading it to your children, you just re-inspire yourself as well. So even though we say it's for children, it's for everybody, especially parents reading to their children, to get them on the right path. I read to my son every time that I have a chance, and it's funny because he can't talk all the way, right? He says mama, dada, and all of that, but when I walk into, he has his way his room is set up is that he can crawl in and out of bed and go get to things, so we didn't trap him in, or he can't fall off the bed or nothing. Like, he can move around his room, and it's just a gate blocking him so he can't come out, but he can still go to the gate and call us.
Right.
Or those cameras will let us know. But it's just funny when he's in his room and he's in his bed and he climbs down and he grabs a book. Like, how does he know to do that? Right? To me, it's like,
because he watched mommy and daddy read to him. That's right. Yeah. See,
right.
Everybody got a part to play.
Right. He's
inspiration.
Like, he's just looking at the book. I got so many pictures that I've snapped of him, like, on his own, looking into the book. Like, what are you doing? He's mimicking what he sees us doing to him. And that's what, when Kai says, it's not just about the words, man. Let me give you a quick story, man. And this was a few years ago. A friend of mine, I believe he has his PhD now. He graduated from Rutgers. His mother and father were out of his life. I forgot what the reason was. So he lived with his grandfather. He went through high school with his grandfather, college with his grandfather, graduated. He went back, got his PhD. He's an amazing guy. The day he graduated from Rutgers, the PhD, when he got his PhD, he honored his grandfather. He thanked his grandfather because that week he found out, he said he loves to read in his speech. He said he loves to read because of his grandfather. But that same week he was graduating, he found out that his grandfather could not read. But his grandfather, now he credits his grandfather for making him love to read. So I said, why did you love to read if your grandfather couldn't read? He said, dude, because when I would come downstairs in the morning, my grandfather would say, before you leave this house, you are to eat breakfast with me at this table, and let's have a conversation for at least 10 to 15 minutes every day. So he said he would come downstairs, pour himself a bowl of cereal, or his grandfather would have some toast and some tea there or something. And he said his grandfather would start a conversation with him, but he would have a newspaper up. He would have like a newspaper up. So he talking to him like this, like, yeah, and he got a newspaper up. Then he, all right, man, have a good day. Do you know his grandfather never was reading that newspaper? His grandfather told him, I only kept the newspaper in front of me so you can see me reading every day, so that it inspire you to read. And when he gave his PhD speech, and he said, I love to read because of my grandfather. So he loves to read because of a man who could not read. It's not about your words. It's about your actions. Man.
Yeah, plant that seed.
Yeah,
absolutely, absolutely. All right, so I'm sorry, I was trying to find. I know what I got to do first. Hold on 1 second. I was trying to find one joint.
That was powerful.
Yeah, man, it's real, man. It's real. It's crazy, man.
But I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna do it like this. Real quick.
Yes. Yes.
This ain't checkers. It's chess.
Yeah. Happy B-Day, Trigger.
Mr. Speaker, the president.
Yes.
Remix. 211. Yeah. Super is. Super.
Man, rest in peace.
Hail to the chief. Salute, salute. Hey, dude. Shout out to Hood Stoner on this one. We got him, dude. Check. Hail to the chief, salute the commander. Lock down the beat, then I read the Mirandas. You all had a right to reach higher heights. Opposition violate, then you bomb on sight. I be rolling through the streets, checking my constituents, keeping me abreast on whatever the issue is. Offering a voice to my people in the struggle. Got they back to the wall and we all gotta hustle. This about survival, rolling through the trenches. Peace to my G's with the unjust sentence. Rest in peace, Mike Brown, Trayvon Martin. My administration got the revolution starting. Me and Cosby pop, toast brews in the spot. Elevation of the minds, take yours to the top. In my triple black suit, wardrobe set a precedent. Stepping out the truck, make way for the president.
Hail to the chief.
Hail to the chief. Salute, 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 salute. Hail to the chief. Salute, 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 salute. Hail to the chief. I'm a
Oh my God,
Love Daddy.
And Cap, Capital One.
Hail to the chief. Salute, salute. Hail to the chief. I'm president important. Yeah, okay.
Stoner. I got you. Salute. Look, hail to the chief. I smell like a G. On the coast of San Juan, selling grams on the beach. New Bentley in his pigeon toe. How about my bread? Ain't talking dinner rolls. Indian Seminova, bend her over, man. She know it dry. I'm smoking fire, got me more than high. I'm on my vibe. Stay on my job, I put in overtime. You getting up, getting notified. Boy, you acting like a keep your heart inside. Y'all be hiding out, we be riding out. Keep a cannon on the camera, this ain't wildin' out. Bump pro, car will, my nigga, do it all. Oh, this your cousin beef? Well, I'm getting you involved. Hood stoners, bad goods owners, we owners. Sit back and push forest. When you see me, know that you keep it 100 and salute. When you see a real new coming stoner.
Salute, 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 salute. Hail to the chief. Salute, 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 salute. Hail to the chief. I'm a rain for infinity. Safer keep spinning and I'm living off the energy. Hail to the chief. Salute, salute. Hail to the chief. Salute, salute. Hail to the chief.
Know what I mean? So it's like what I say, hip hop is not what we do, it's how we do it. We could be rocking the mic, we could be councilman of the great city of Newark, New Jersey, we could be author, broadcaster extraordinaire, we could be doing all types of stuff, not just rocking the mic. Yeah, it's a part of it. But it's the way we carry ourselves, the way we network with each other, the way we communicate with each other. It's the way we live. That's what hip hop is about. Like I said at the top, these two gentlemen embody that to the T. DUPRE Kelly, Councilman DUPRE Kelly, and Kai Williams, KHAIRI.
Salute.
No doubt. Salute.
I appreciate y'all, man, for real.
Salute. Yeah, man. You can do it all, y'all. Go get your copy.
Go get it, man. Go get it.
Put that up one more time. Do it all university.
Yes.
Get it. Get that for a child in your life, man. For a holiday or just period.
Snatch it. Yep.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Love it, man. Thank you so much for hopping on the Hakeem Green Show. Of course, I'm gonna see you tomorrow night on the Madism Sports Program, so we can talk about them bum ass Giants getting their behinds whipped. And perhaps Mr. Do-It-All can carve out some time so we can talk about them Cowboys.
Hey,
man, y'all got a lot of good stuff to talk about over there.
Yeah, man. You know, love is love, my brothers. I'm gonna be up there between the 15th and the 22nd.
Okay.
I'm gonna be shooting the video for the joint Reckless. I got Ron Lawrence. I need you guys in the video.
Dope.
Little cameo piece going on.
Yes, sir. Keep us posted.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Yo,
sir.
Congratulations to everything that you're doing, Hawk, man. You always inspire me, man. Just being a voice for the people, man. Being a voice for the culture, man. We definitely need your voice, man. Keep shouting loud, man. We appreciate you for real.
Without a doubt. Salute, gentlemen.
Salute, King. Holla at y'all in a minute.
Peace.
Yes, sir.
Peace.